Hi guys, Jen Holt here at Inspired by a Purpose to bring you your pose of the day. So today's pose is called Virabhadrasana Warrior One pose. It's a standing pose. It's a strength building pose. We're on our feet, so we're working with a little bit of balance. We build strength through the core, through the legs, through the glutes. We get a little strength building through the arms and shoulders if we're lifting the arms up overhead. We also get a little stretch through the back of the leg. So with that said, let's get right to it. So we're gonna come on up to the top of the mat, or at least providing enough room so that you can take a little step back. Make sure the shoulders and hips are stacked. Then we're gonna you might take your hands to your hips just so that you can figure out what's happening with your hips. We're gonna bring awareness to the right foot, and we're gonna take a big step back with the right foot. As we step back, see about bringing your right foot to about a 45-degree angle. Left toes are gonna stay facing forward with the left knee stacked over the ankle and coming to about the midline of the foot. So you wanna try to avoid any bowing or in or out of that knee. Keep it pretty stacked with the ankle and in the midline of the foot. Now the right hip, as you stepped back, you might have felt that hip start to open up a little bit or move back. What we want to do is draw that right hip forward and the left hip back. Think about pressing down through both feet. So make sure you can really feel all four corners of both feet on the mat. Sometimes what happens here is that since we have the bend in the front knee, we'll tend to dump all our weight there. And so you'll really feel this leg working. But we want to work both legs. Think about really rooting down through that back right heel so it can take a little bit more of the weight, just like it was a kickstand back there. Feel all four corners of your foot rooting down. Hips are aligned under the shoulders. Another thing to be aware of is the rotation of the pelvis. Now, some of us will have a tendency to lift the tailbone up and back, and the front of the pelvis will come forward. And then when this happens, you might get a little crankiness or a little bit of compression around the lower spine. So what you can do is think about lengthening the tailbone down, reach the top of the head up. Think about lifting the top of the pelvis up and stacking the hips so that they're under the rib cage. You can create a little micro bend through that back leg just to figure out what's happening through the hips, and then you can work on re-straightening it out. Another thing that's important to know here is that the distance between the feet is really going to determine how hard you're working. When the feet are a little bit closer together, it's a little bit easier. When the feet are further apart, when you're really taking that big step back, we work a little bit harder to hold ourselves in this position. You can stay here with the hands on the hips. This is a great place to be. If you'd like, you can also take the hands to the heart, or you could work on reaching arms up overhead, which is going to be a little bit more strength building through the arms. Make sure the weight stays even through all four corners of both feet, lifting up out of that lower spine, extending the tailbone down, and make sure the shoulders don't bunch up to the ears. They're dropping down and away. Jaw is relaxed. You might even give yourself a little smile here. And that's our pose. That is our Warrior One. Make sure you get in both sides, so take some breaths on one side and then match the same number of breaths on the other side. You could start with 4 or 5 breaths and work up from there. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. We hope to see you here in center or online very soon. Have a great day.